Welcome back to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. I'm excited to be joined by my co-host, Sean Zanotti, and we've got Nelle Rose here with us. Welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me.
We've just got to get into it. You've got to tell us about your background and sort of how you got interested in music and performing.
Yes, so I actually started singing in church. My mom was a choir director,
Right.
and I used to beg, like every time she would go to a choir rehearsal, I would beg her, like, can I join, can I join?
Really?
And finally when I turned 5, she let me join the choir.
I knew it had to be pretty young if you're begging.
Yeah, right, and from then on, I just loved singing. I sang for the rest of my life.
When did you know, okay, I'm singing, but this is something special. I have a special gift with this.
I would say in high school,
Okay.
I started actually singing in public outside of the church scene. And that's when I realized, you know, it's not just about church, it's about how I feel on stages or how I touch people. And I knew that I wanted to continue with that feeling, you know, forever. Because it's like an adrenaline that you can't even fathom.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a euphoria. So many artists, and we had talked about this a little bit earlier, struggle with that challenge of maybe leaving the church and going to a more secular world. This goes way back, Aretha Franklin, artists even before that. How did you make that choice, and what way did you either find it was really easy or kind of wrestle with it inside?
It was quite difficult, I would say. What helped me was my brother. He's a producer as well, so I would, you know, follow him to the studio, and he was making different kinds of tracks, and that's when I, you know, started tapping into R&B and pop more. I'm more R&B now, but back then, R&B and pop. And you know, my mom was very supportive, and my dad wanted me to just be strictly church.
Of course.
So it was like that great division in the household. But you know, now I'm, you know, I do both, but mostly R&B. But I understand that, you know, the back and forth, but I really do love R&B. But, you know, church is always in my heart.
Do you have any musical inspirations? Who inspires you?
Well, I'm a Jersey girl.
Okay.
So Whitney Houston is my favorite singer. Lauryn Hill, Brandy, Jasmine Sullivan, Kierra Sheard. There's so many to name, but Whitney Houston, that's like hands down my girl. Yeah.
So now the show's called Music and Medicine, and I understand that many people, and even you more personally, have dealt with some health challenges. Tell us a little bit about sort of how that came, or at least a diagnosis you may have had related to your throat, if I understand.
Yeah, so it's crazy how this happened. Everything was quite back to back. At the end of 2017, we had a major loss in the family, and when that happened, I decided to get a physical. And when I went to get a physical, they found masses in my throat. You know, with further testing, and at the time I was actually a full-time teacher. I wasn't even a full-time musician at the time, but I was singing at night. You know, I was living in New York at the time. And I, you know, went to get further testing, and I was like, is this why I'm getting hoarse a lot? And they were like, no. They sent me to the ENT, and I got scoped for something else. And they found out that I have cysts on my vocal cords. So it was 2 different throat issues that I was facing at the same time. That would require 2 different surgeries.
Wow.
I decided to just go with the one that was more life-threatening. And I removed the masses and half of my thyroid, and did voice therapy for months. I couldn't sing for months. And during that time of resting my voice and, you know, learning to talk properly and sing properly again, I went to the ENT again to check out my hearing. Because I was like, since I'm resting, I might as well figure out what's going on, because I'm struggling to hear as well. At that time, they found out that there's 2 different types of hearing loss, and I had both in my right ear.
Oh, wow.
A sensory neural? Were they saying that type of word, or?
Yeah, you know, I can't even think of it at the moment, but
it's conductive.
Yeah, conductive, and you know, hearing loss runs in my family, but not the type that I had. It was, you know, too extensive. So even now, I have a hearing aid in, but that all happened at the same time, and just battling, you know, everything that's supposed to be help me for music was being taken away from me. It felt at the same time, but you know, work through it with mental therapy and voice therapy and God and family and loved ones. I worked through it, and now I moved to LA and I sing full time.
Can we dive into that a little bit?
Right, that's amazing.
I guess I want to move back a little bit because before you just mentioned you go into the doctor.
Yeah.
Your face lit up in passion, talking about your gift of singing and what that meant for you as a child and as an adult to the world. So then you go to the doctor and you find, out you have this condition with your throat and you have to. What was that like for you mentally to then have to think, I can't do and perform this gift that I have only done this is all I've done, all I know, this is what gives me my joy. How did you find your joy?
Ooh, that took a long time. I will tell you that. When I thought that I wouldn't be able to sing again, I didn't really have the desire to live. Mm. And it took, building with my therapist and realizing that I have more to offer in life than just my voice, but I thought that I only had my voice to give. And, learning to, see that there's other things I can do in life, even though music is, for me, number one. But if I wasn't able to sing again, I still belong here. And that took a long time to unpack and go through. And if I didn't have therapy, I don't know where I would be right now. I probably wouldn't even be here.
Yeah. Well, mental health today is such a big theme, and I think you just unpacked something that's so important. And thank you for highlighting that. It's so easy to identify ourselves in one box, and your comfort level with going and getting therapy and really working through that and being comfortable to even speak about it, because a lot of times in our community, let's be honest, let's keep it real, like, oh, I won't say nothing about it. But that fear to do it, because honestly what I expected you to say was your faith and some of the things with your father and things of that nature. So I really loved hearing that you did the voice therapy, which is a process unto itself. Talk to us about that piece, and then we'll talk a little bit about the mental health aspects.
The voice therapy?
Mm-hmm. What does that involve? Because again, these are big words that seem so simple, but I don't want our audience to lose it.
Yeah, so for voice therapy, it was literally learning how to speak properly without impacting what was going on in my throat, because this is something I just have to live with. It was either have a second throat surgery or just learn how to cope with what you're dealing with, and I decided to stick with, the coping, because I was scared to do surgery again. And literally certain vowels, learning to breathe properly, even like if I'm about to perform, she would teach me that, you can blow through a straw and it can help open up your vocal folds, and just little things that you don't even realize. Talking too low sometimes can, hurt your voice and things of that nature. So it took months of just even just talking and then singing and then, levels, because it took me a while to even sing one of my original records. Wow. Just to get through one song. And that was heartbreaking for me. I was so hard on myself. And she was like, take it easy. You just went through a major surgery. You'll get there. And now I'm there. And it's so exciting because there was a time that I didn't think I would be here.
I just want to mention, you said that you didn't have the will to live.
Yeah.
And so I can't brush past that for someone to say that.
Yeah.
You now have the will to live.
Yeah.
How did you find that will?
Therapy and prayer, and my mom, literally my mom. When I told her these things, it broke her heart, and I told her if I made it through this season, I would just, move to LA and give it all I have. And for me it was a lot of prayer and a lot of work. It really was. My therapist was a godsend. And I thank God for all of that I've been through, because, I felt like I had an easy childhood, and I felt like I needed to go through something for me to appreciate, the music the way, I didn't appreciate it the way it should have been appreciated. And now it's
bet
like
you
gold.
Get more. Yeah.
So
what do you bring to the music now that you've overcome this? What do you bring to it?
Now I give way more emotion. I always sang, but now I just feel like you can feel my heart, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to touch anyone that I sing in front of. That's my goal now, to touch everyone.
Well, this is an amazing story, and you do it in such a heartwarming way, the way you bring this across. Talk to us about just that concept of having to wear a hearing aid and re-identifying yourself as someone that's hearing impaired, and really not having low self-esteem, because so many times it's something that people want to hide, or that society just really doesn't always embrace as positively as it should.
I would say it's very difficult now singing with a hearing aid. One of the main gigs that I do have in LA is I'm part of the Sunday service choir and sing with the best singers in LA.
Right, and tell us what choir that is, because you just slipped that really quickly there, and I think some
West
people.
Sunday service.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
And you know, touring around and singing with the best singers in LA. At one point, it was like 120 of us, and trying to blend and make sure that you're hearing the notes properly. It was very difficult. It really made me anxious in the beginning. But with practice and time and getting to know everyone, it felt like a family, and it just felt, I learned to adapt, I should say. I learned to adapt with the hearing aid, but it took time. It was not easy. I have settings on my hearing aid for music, if I'm singing, or if I'm just listening, or if I'm just talking. So just learning how to fix it and adapt.
Amazing. Well, you've heard it here. This is an incredible story that Nelle Rose has been comfortable sharing with us. Many artists and many people who sing, essentially their vocal cords and their voice is their instrument. And just like any instrument, it can get out of tune, it can get damaged, and it's really important for us to learn how to take care of it. Some people feel like they're naturally gifted to sing, and others certainly train. And in this case, where she had to undergo a surgery, restarting all over again was something that she embraced, even though it was difficult. I think her story is incredible also in terms of her really being comfortable sort of sharing not only her faith, but her fear, and also feeling that life almost wasn't worth living because music was such a part of who she was. It was so much of her identity. And she had to really find other things to look for and to live for. So we look forward to hearing from her and hearing more from you today. So can't wait to hear you sing. And thanks again for joining us. Can't wait to hear you.
I gave to you the best of me, but you had so much pride. Oh, baby, and you got me going crazy, got me going crazy, got me going crazy, crazy over you. You really put me through, babe. I just want to breathe and stop. Just give me 5 seconds so I can find myself. I need to fix my heart, can't fix nobody else. I need to get over you. I deserve better than you. Just give me 5 seconds so I can find myself, find myself. I knew you were no good for me, but I was so blind. Oh, baby. Whoa. See, I tried to make it work, yes, I really did. But I ain't no magician, love ain't no game. It's enough to drive me insane. Got me going crazy, got me going crazy.
just want to breathe and stop. Just give me 5 seconds so I can find myself. I need to fix my heart, can't fix nobody else. I need to get over you. I deserve better than you. Just give me 5 seconds so I can find myself. Seconds to catch my breath. This is only a test with you. 4, 5. To get back to myself and move on with my life. I'm letting it go. Can't take no more. I can't take no more. I thought you were the one for me, but that was a lie. Whoa, baby, why'd you have to have so much pride? Right, oh, baby, oh, I just want to breathe and stop.